Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to another installment of Scott's Selections here for Friday, December 13th. Before we get into today's play of the day, a quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up picking a weekend game between Army and Navy as we ended up giving our thoughts on that one. So if you haven't checked out that video, you can. In terms of yesterday's card, didn't really touch anything. Didn't like the Ravens-Jets game. Jets got embarrassed on TV. My fantasy season's pretty much ruined as I had to face Lamar Jackson in the fantasy semifinals, so that's a lot of fun. But either or, we're just going to dive right into the play of the day. Now, the main reason why I'm making the video so early, specifically 1 a.m. Eastern Time, is because of the fact that I'm actually traveling tomorrow to Philadelphia, so I will not be able to make a video around the normal time, but I wanted to leave all of you with a play. So for that reason, we are going to be doing the video now. And the play of the day that we're going to be talking about is going to be in a matchup between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we talked about it a couple of times last week. We are going to keep fading the Timberwolves here. We're going to take the Los Angeles Clippers minus 5.5, which is available at minus 110 on FanDuel. Now, the issue that you have potentially to run into is the fact that the Clippers will be playing on Friday night and Saturday night, so you have to wonder if Kawhi or Paul George are going to be given the day off because of the fact that they like to rest the stars for load management purposes on back-to-backs. However, according to some beat writers for the Clippers on Twitter, it has been reported that both Kawhi and Paul George should be playing on Friday and that Patrick Beverley will be out. So Beverley is not going to play with a concussion, but you still have Kawhi and Paul George playing, and for me that's good enough to take on the 5.5, assuming that those reports are accurate. Now, the main reason why, besides the fact the Clippers are, in my opinion, probably the best team or the second best team in the league, you could argue about them and the Lakers. I still think the Clippers are the better team for the playoffs, but either or, that remains to be seen. The main thing to talk about, though, is how bad Minnesota has been. And I know that I was talking about them earlier on as they ended up blowing that game against Oklahoma City earlier this week. Since then, we faded them twice, and they lost both times by double digits. Then they played the Jazz again without Mike Conley, and they ended up losing by double digits again. The Timberwolves have lost 6 straight, and each of their last 4 games have been decided by double digits. This team has just completely fallen apart. There's no way else to put it. If you watch this team play, they play no defense at all. The Timberwolves in their last 5 games have given up at least 121 points in each of those games. They can't guard anybody, and now they have to face the Clippers, who have played really solid defense. They held Toronto to 92 on the road. Game before that, they played the Pacers, held them to 99 on the road. I just think 5.5 is too few points here. Clippers easily win this game by double digits, depending if Minnesota actually cares about this game. I don't think they will, because of the fact that Minnesota, after a long road trip, finally returned home, played Utah, an injured Utah team, and they still gave up 127 and lost by double digits. This team is completely checked out. No offense to Ryan Saunders as head coach, but whatever he's preaching isn't working right now. And the Clippers, they look completely dialed in. They've won 4 of 5. They've won 3 straight. Each of their wins have come by double digits. I think this game will turn into a blowout. I think the Timberwolves could keep this game close for a half, but the Clippers will do what they did to Toronto in the second quarter, and at some point they'll just turn it up a notch defensively, and I don't think Minnesota has that gear where they can just get stops anytime they want. I think the Clippers should be able to do whatever they want offensively, and defensively they have the length to cause some problems as they are able to switch pretty much everything due to Paul George's 6'11", 6'10" frame. Kawhi's an elite defender. I mean, Beverly's out, so that's a big deal from the guard position, but Jeff Teague wasn't really offering that much value from the scoring from point guards anyway. I'm not really worried about Wiggins chucking up 20-something shots to be pretty inefficient. I don't really care. Towns is a problem, though. The Clippers will have some issues trying to match up with him. Zubac's a big body, though. He's 7 feet tall. He should be able to do a decent job potentially limiting Towns. I think Towns will still go for like 25 and 13. But other than that, though, I just don't think Minnesota has many other weapons, and I think the Clippers will come up with a good game plan as they will look to just force anybody else to beat them, and I don't think Minnesota will be able to do that. So the play of the day for Friday, December 13th, will be on the Los Angeles Clippers minus 5.5, which is available on FanDuel at minus 110. Other than that, though, looking at the rest of the card, I'll give out some thoughts on some lines here, some college basketball and some NBA. Lean to the Pacers minus 6 against the Hawks. Hawks have just been playing terrible basketball, and they probably should have beaten the Heat 2 games ago when Trae Young said it was over, when they were up, I believe it was 6 with 50 seconds to go, and they immediately gave up a 24-0 run and they got embarrassed. Then they played the Bulls on the road, lost by about 30. Pacers coming into this game off a huge home win against the Celtics. I just think the Pacers are a better team. The Hawks can play defense. They can't stop anybody. And Trae Young's can just desire to continually shoot 35-footers isn't exactly going to get them any wins. Lean to the Pacers there. I think the game could be close, but I think the Pacers will be able to cover the spread late. Other than that, though, looking at the rest of the card, I don't really have many thoughts on the Golden State-Utah game. I know a lot of people from Golden State will not be playing, as Draymond Green's been reported that he will not play, and Pascal's not going to be playing either, so Golden State will be shorthanded. But the Jazz are really not a good enough team to be laying 12.5 with, especially without Mike Conley in the lineup. I don't really know where I'd lean there. Small lean to the under, I guess. That's just a really tough spot, and I'm not really sure how that game will turn out. But Golden State's going to be missing some key pieces, lean to Utah on that one. And other than that, though, that's pretty much it for the NBA. Some lines have yet to come out. You have New Orleans versus Philadelphia. That line hasn't come out yet. You have Miami versus the Lakers. That hasn't come out yet. And you have Houston versus Orlando. That line hasn't come out either. So I don't really have any thoughts. Same thing with Milwaukee and Memphis. That line has not come out either. So I can't really talk about it. So sorry about that, but it is what it is. Now moving on to college basketball, really limited card as well, as you only have 5 games going on in today's card. But for the game itself, lean to the over 141 in Creighton and Texas Rio Grande Valley. Creighton at home, just a very solid offense. I wouldn't be surprised to see them put up 80 in this game, probably more. And I think this game should go over. I could see Rio Grande putting up somewhere in the realm of, like, I don't know, 65, give or take. So I think Creighton should be able to score around 80, 85. I think this game will go over. So lean to the over in the Creighton game. Other than that, though, don't really like anything else on the card. Indiana's laying 17 against Nebraska. That game's just pretty ugly. I'll link to the under 148.5, though, as that line has already started to drop from 129.5 to from 149.5 to 148.5. So based on the line movement, lean to Indiana with the under. I think that game should end up pretty low scoring. Other than that, though, play of the day will be on the Clippers minus 5.5, which is available on 5 times at minus 110. Other than that, that's going to do it with the installment of Scott Selections here for Friday, December 13th. Good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.